Hello everybody. I just thought I'd do a video showing my Second Sight films collection. So I'm nowhere near as big as the Arrows I showed recently. Um, got a few Second Sight, a few 88 films, a few Indicator, but this is my second biggest collection. I've sort of cleared a bit of space because the first time I try to do it, every time I try and put them back in, move them along a tiny bit, the J cards behind would get messed up. So I'm a massive fan of the J cards, but if they're stuck on, then I keep them on. So first you've got Gonjiam Haunted Asylum. So this only watched this the other night. It's a found footage film. It's Korean, South Korean. Go to this real place called Gunjam Haunted Asylum. That's like the front of it, known as one of the creepiest. I mean, I don't really believe in ghosts, but it does look a creepy building. Yeah, it's scary, well made, low budget, one of the best found footage horrors I've seen. And you've got The Sacrament. Not actually watched this yet, although I got it on DVD, but I've heard it's about this guy is like a cult leader, a bit like the Jim Jones kind of cult, like Waco, you know, those cults that sort of had their own commune and basically treated people like shit and tricked them. Apparently this guy in it is, I can't remember the name of the main, I won't go on about him too long, so I won't bother looking, but yeah, apparently he's really charismatic, really good sort of role by this guy playing the main cult leader. But yeah, not seen that, so I can't tell you too much about it, but I've heard it's good. Borderlands, this is one of my favourite found footage films ever. Really creepy, well made, sort of really realistic feeling. One of the main actors in it is the guy that wrote the script for Kill List, which is one of my favourite films. So yeah, hoping actually that Second Sight will do a version of Kill List. You know, they've got the Borderlands, which is sort of made by similar people. Kill List is a Ben Wheatley film. It's kind of more of a drama, but it's quite disturbing and horrifying. Then you've got Possessor, directed by the son of Brandon Cronenberg. I think I did prefer Infinity Pool to this, but this is better than Antiviral, I think was Brandon Cronenberg's first film. Yeah, really good film, really gory, some sort of pretty hardcore kind of scenes and nudity, quite a sort of in-your-face film, pretty sort of interesting concepts. Green Room, I'm sure most people have heard of this. Anton Yelchin and Patrick Stewart from Star Trek. So it's about like a punk band, and they go into like the green room where they play, but they basically play this in the spoiler. It tells you on the back they're playing at like a Nazi rally kind of thing, like at a venue with a load of evil Nazis, and then it all goes wrong from there. Ginger Snap, sorry about the glare on that. So this is a trilogy, it's not a spoiler, but it's like a teen kind of werewolf film. So yeah, you get all three films in that. I don't think you can really see them from there, but yeah, it was only about £5 more than the rest, and considering you've got three films, I don't think it's on 4K. Let me just double check. Can't really see. No, it is Blu-ray, yeah. But yeah, it's still pretty good value. Oh, these slip covers are going everywhere. Frontier, it's a French extreme horror. See if I can remember the name. Xavier Gens. Gons? I don't know how you say it. He's done a few other films. I think he's done some English film. But yeah, I've said it's a kind of action horror. Similar vein to Green Room, where sort of they go to stay somewhere after the riots in Paris. Go to like a suburb and they stay in this kind of inn, I guess you'd call it, like an old hotel. And it's not a spoiler, but it's got some Nazis and stuff inside. Talking of inside, French film, French horror film, one of the best, other than Martyrs. Just double check. This is directed by. Can't actually see on there, but I think it's the guy that did Silent Hill remake. I think he did the Hills Have Eyes remake and maybe Mirrors. Comment his name down below. I'll remember it in a bit, hopefully. I don't want to be looking through all of these and take too long talking about all these films, but yeah, not really a spoiler, but basically some woman's got a baby and she's pregnant. It's Christmas Eve, she's about to go into labour, and then this evil woman, I won't go into it, but breaks into her house, and then it's like a cat and mouse, really gory, really tense, well made. Yeah, one of the best sort of the French horror films. This is a little French sort of horror film selection, so maybe they'll do Martyrs next, or maybe even Chitan or Them, Livid. There's a few good French horrors they haven't done yet, but this won't go into spoilers, but it's got a plot twist. I think everybody knows that that's heard anything about it, which is very divisive. Didn't really work for me, but once you watch it again, it kind of makes sense, but I still don't think it really added to the film. But yeah, really brutal, really tense. Not going to go into it too much, but the bit where she's sort of hiding in the wardrobe is one of the tensest scenes I've ever seen. Yeah, this one's more about gore and sort of brutal violence than any kind of supernatural or creepy. Same as Inside and Frontiers, really, but without going into it too much, Inside has got a bit of a supernatural bit, which be up to you whether it works or not. Crimes of the Future. So this is David Cronenberg, father of Brandon, who we looked at earlier, that made Possessor. Really weird film. Just brief plot synopsis. So people in the future start growing their own cancers in their body as like a kind of art piece, and then they get it removed, and then they grow another one. But the more interesting bit, again, this isn't a spoiler, it tells you this on the blurb or whatever you call it on the back, the synopsis, is that they sort of engineer people to be able to digest plastic, which is kind of good route to go down, not in real life, but in a story. Because obviously there's so much plastic around, everybody's already swallowed millions of micro plastic, so they're thinking in the future if there is no food and that, and if people could digest plastic, so it plays a bit on that. But yeah, it's kind of these people are artists, extreme sort of, what do you call them, I can't think of the word, but basically when you do art in a room in front of people and do some weird like Otto Mule was, if you ever heard of him, performance artist, that's it. Not one of David Cronenberg's best ones. Interesting. I wouldn't say it's boring, but it's quite slow. And yeah, I didn't love it, to tell you the truth. Monster with Charlize Theron and Christina Ricci. So this is based on the real life story of Arlene Wurbos, I think you pronounce it. So she was a female serial killer in Australia. One of the few serial, but yeah, really well made. Bruce Dern in it, and like a little sort of cameo role. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like Charlize Theron the way they've done her makeup, so without being harsh to Eileen, what's she called? I've already bloody forgot her name. Eileen Werberos. They kind of make her look like more dour and make her complexion look older. But yeah, really good role from her. Banquet. Haven't actually watched this one yet, but did get it quite cheap. I don't think it's a horror. I think it's more a thriller. But yeah, obviously something to do with food. But yeah, I heard it's quite messed up, but we'll get around to watching that. And you've got May. What's her name? Angela. See if I can find it. Angela Bettis. So she was in The Woman. She was in a few other sort of Lucky McGee films. Yeah, really good, this one. It's got Jeremy Sisto, you might know from 6 Feet Under. Yeah, I think this is one of the best sort of modern horror films. Quite disturbing, quite gory, kind of character study. So again, I think this is on the back, so it's not a spoiler, but this May is quite weird and has no friends, and then she meets Jeremy Sisto. She's like, what's the word, obsessed with his hands, and it's a bit of like a stalker, and then she sort of starts a friendship with, I can't remember her name, but the lady that plays the main girl out of the Scary Movie films. Let's quickly check if it tells me on the front. Anna Faris, that's it. I'm sure everybody knows her. She's actually really good in this, Anna Faris. She's one of the best actors, like chewing up scenery. Whereas obviously in the Scary Movie, she plays kind of a more comedy, kind of silly role. I think it is directed by Lucky McKee as well. He's done a few films. Boiling Point. This is way more interesting than it should be. It's a film about chefs, and when when they're sort of under high pressure and everything's going wrong, and then a top critic comes into the restaurant, and this is this one night where it's real busy. And yeah, I mean, I watch MasterChef and stuff, or at least used to, like the professionals and the celebrities, and sometimes the normal one, or want as high quality standard of food they were making. But yeah, shouldn't be entertaining, but it is. But yeah, it's not really violence or like horror. It's just the tension comes from running the restaurant. But there's some scenes, I don't think it's all of it, but at least one 20-minute scene is just in one take. So fair play to all the actors and actresses and the director getting that done So obviously you could be going for 19 minutes, someone makes a little mistake and you have to reshoot the whole thing again. The Stranger, sure everyone knows this, of Liv Tyler. First time I watched this, I found it really creepy. One of the best home, what do you call it, home invasion sort of horrors. But last time I watched it, I wouldn't say it was boring, but it wasn't as great as I remember that. I think some since I've sort of upped the ante. I've heard the sequels or there's a series of it. It might be really bad, but yeah, again, I'm trying not to talk about these too long, but just giving you an oversight. Because if I literally just go this one, this one, this one, the video's over in 1 minute. Session 9, one of my favourites ever. This is directed by Brad Anderson. He does The Machinist. He does this one, Vanishing on 4th Street. He does Trans-Siberian, I think. He's done some good films, but yeah, it's basically about the see if it tells you on the back. So I can't. Danvers State Mental Hospital, which was a real mental hospital. It was huge. It's like made in the shape of a bat. Got closed down, I think, because so much abuse and what do you call it when they put the thing through your eye to like sedate your brain, lobotomy were going on in there, and you got closed down. But basically, they shoot on location. It's got some really good actors. One of them, David Caruso, is he called? That was in Rambo: First Blood when he was young, as one of the like deputies chasing Rambo. Yes, one of my favourite horror films ever. It's kind of a slow psychological burn, and there's elements of is there a ghost or isn't there? Is it a person doing it, or has he been possessed? But yeah, I won't go into too much of the spoilers. But as far as locations go, one of the best sort of shot films in using a location. But yeah, basically a team go in to clear a load of asbestos, and then it spirals out of control. Changeling. I think this was the first second sight I ever got. I got this one 5 years ago or so. I've got the slip cover in the cupboard, but I used to always take them off back then. But George C. Scott, really good, creepy, maybe the best ghost film I've ever seen. Really big, creepy house, well made, sort of slow atmosphere. And even if you don't believe in ghosts, there's an element of is it a ghost or is there something else going on? But yeah, George C. Scott plays like a widowed man who, this isn't a spoiler, it tells you this on the back, I think. Well, if you've got the slip card, but yeah, I used to have this on like a DVD version, watched it when I was like 15 or so, thought it was one of the creepiest films I've seen. So as soon as this came out on a special edition, back then I didn't really collect Second Sight, but there's certain films, some of my favourite films ever, that if they come out on 4K, big box set, anything, I'm getting it just because I want to watch the extras and I want to see it in a better print and things. Swallow. I wouldn't say this is a horror film, but it's quite disturbing. Again, this isn't a spoiler, it tells you on the back, but this woman's in a marriage that she can't control, and I think her only way of feeling like she's in control is to like swallow foreign objects, like pins and bits of metal, and it's kind of more interesting than it sounds. But yeah, obviously her life starts spiraling out of control, and her family don't understand her, and the husband and his family are on her back, and she has to go and have scans. But yeah, it's sort of more interesting than it sounds, but that's all of the limited edition ones I've got. Let's go out and see them. Then I've just got Censor. Really good. This was one of the best sort of British horror films I've seen in a long time. It's not supernatural, ever gets silly, but the fact that the plot is just based around British film censors. So if anybody knows about sort of times of Margaret Thatcher, they were trying to ban all video nasties and saying they were making children kill people, and did this false study that 80% of all children under the age of 9 are watching 5 gory horrors a week. And when you do actually go and look at the video nasties list, other than Cannibal Holocaust and a few, most of them were either not actually that gory and scary. Some that got on the list, like I Love You, Hugs and Kisses, and the Thin Pink Line, I think it was called, weren't even like grotesque in any manner. And some were just so bad they were funny, and no one could surely take it serious and think children would believe it was real. But yeah, there was like a furore. I've got a documentary about it, about the video nasties. I think it is on Netflix or somewhere if you want to watch it. But I think it's called Moral Panic. But yeah, it's a big thing in England. I don't think it really happened in. But yeah, basically she's a censor. She needs to censor films, and all the violence she's watching gets into her head, and she starts going a bit insane. And it's hard to tell whether it's real or whether she's just seeing it. But yeah, really impressed by that one. And then here's a fake found footage, but it on a slightly different sort of vein, really. But yeah, this one's really, it's a slow burn. Well, most of these Second Sight are slow burn. I think that's kind of partly what they go for, which is why I was hoping they'd release a version of Kill List. But yeah, without going into the details too much, a 16-year-old girl drowns while swimming, and then their parents are like seeking a parapsychologist to contact her. And it's a case of, did she really die? Because they keep hearing her. Is it a ghost or is she alive? How did she die? Then without spoilers, it goes into something to do with like the neighbours, and they find some footage and stuff. But yeah, it's kind of like a mystery sort of one, that one. But yeah, that's basically all of the Second Sight ones. Looking to get a bit of Sweet Life when it comes out a bit later this month. A few I've missed, I've not been able to get. It Follows, one of the more annoying ones, because they want like £45 for it in CEX and stuff secondhand. But yeah, finished the video there. I'm gonna do one later on my favourite found footage films. I was just waiting to watch that Gonjiam Asylum before I did the video, as I've heard it's one of the better ones. Right, thanks for watching, everybody. Comment below if you've got any Second Sights I haven't that you think are worth picking up, or if you've got any opinions on these films. Right, be back with another video. Thanks, everybody. Bye.